Hi, I'm Ian Runkle, also known as Runkle of the Bailey. In today's video, we're reacting to Drunk Off-Duty Cop Flees Police at 100 miles per hour. I'm already angry just hearing that title, so let's watch the video.
On June 12, 2022, a Monroe County deputy was conducting traffic enforcement in Key Largo, Florida. The deputy observed a white Chrysler traveling 108 miles per hour in the posted 45 mile per hour zone.
Yeah, that'll get you pulled over.
The deputy activated his emergency lights and attempted a traffic stop. However, the Chrysler showed no signs of stopping.
Okay, that's a bad idea. And you can see here, this is why it's such a bad idea to try to run away from the police. They have all the tools that you don't have. They have friends, they have souped up cars, they have potentially the ability to get a helicopter in the air, spike strips, training with the pit maneuver, which is used to knock a vehicle so that it can't effectively continue fleeing. All of these things the police have and you typically don't. Now, this is an off-duty police officer, so maybe he's got a little bit of training and so forth, but he should still know that he's not getting away here. It's very rare that anybody gets away. Then typically they get found later. So this is a second car. So at least 3 cars here following. The other thing I'm going to note here is that this is a really dangerous thing to do, not just because you could get into an accident or something like that, but also because you're basically winding the police up in a dangerous way. You're creating a situation where they don't know what you're doing. They don't know what's wrong with you, like if you're on drugs or what. They don't know if you're running because you are, a really wanted person or very well armed, these kinds of things. And you're also just building their adrenaline. So there's that doubt, that fear of what you might be up to, and also just they're going to be amped. So this is a great recipe for ending up getting shot.
They began to drive recklessly through traffic and accelerated over 110 miles per hour.
I thought they said he was doing 108 before, so 2 more miles per hour, okay, not a big deal. Or at least not a huge acceleration. Now, all of those other cars are being endangered because they're not really expecting this kind of thing. And it creates a situation where the police might be limited in terms of what they can do. They might not want to use a pit maneuver or something if it might knock this guy into another vehicle. We'll see what he does. I'm hoping he stops without them needing to take him out. Yeah, we'll see.
Eventually, the Chrysler pulled over, and the deputy ordered the driver out of the car.
Okay, that's that's a relief.
The driver was later identified as 26-year-old Donovan Rojas.
Turn the fucking car off!
So what I just said about they're going to be amped up and potentially a bad situation, well, that's what we've got going on right here. This officer is clearly amped up. He's got his gun out. You can see he's sort of adopted a firing position over the door of his car. This is not where you want to be. People die from this sort of setup.
How many people in the car? Get out of the car! Get out of the fucking car!
Like, listen to the officer. You can hear that he's angry and he's trying to project authority, but there's also that undertone of nervousness, right? Of what is happening here. And officers are trained that at any moment, a traffic stop could be their last moment. So somebody who's got that sort of tinge of worry can be very dangerous.
Get out of the car right now. Out of the car, I see hands.
Hands up in the air!
Hands up in the air right now. Turn around, turn around. Turn around, do not face me. Turn around.
Just walk right here. Walk right here. Shut the fuck up. Get right over here.
So you hear that the one officer on the loudspeaker is saying, turn around, do not face me. The other officer is saying, walk over here in a direction that requires him to be moving forward. Whenever you've got two officers, both of whom are armed and angry and upset, and they're giving you contradictory instructions, you can get killed just trying to follow one or the other, because either of those officers might take extreme exception to you following the other officer's instructions.
I don't give a who you are. Get on your goddamn knees.
Hey, I'm a cop. Why you acting like that? I'm a cop.
Then you'll listen to me when I tell you to get on your fucking knees.
Okay, I gotta say, I've watched a lot of videos where there's somebody saying, oh, I'm a police officer, and often it immediately changes the interaction where suddenly they're being afforded all of these privileges that you or I wouldn't get. They're being cut all sorts of slack. I kind of like that this cop is like, oh, you're a cop? Great, then you'll know to get on your knees. He's not having it. He's just saying, like, this is not the time. We're not listening to it.
Donovan then claimed he was a Miami-Dade police officer, and the Chrysler was his unmarked agency vehicle.
You used to work for Miami-Dade.
And that's the way it really ought to work, is that, you know, if somebody commits a serious crime, that they stop being a police officer. I don't think that this particular, you know, off-duty cop here is gonna get any special favors. And I like to see that. I like to see the idea that every one of us is equal before the law.
You acting like that, man.
Stand there. 10-11. One in custody.
I'm acting.
Be quiet. Don't say another word. You hear me?
After placing him in handcuffs,
I'm just gonna interrupt there. The officer, I don't think he's intending to, but he's actually giving this guy some really great advice, because if I was his defense lawyer and I'm there, I'd also be telling him not to say another word. Keeping your mouth shut is one of the best things you can do in a police interaction, short of, you know, having a time machine to not do all of the things that we just saw.
the deputy observed an odor of intoxicants coming from his person, glassy eyes, and slurred speech.
Ooh, that's not good.
Everything's cool, Sergeant.
Mirandizer.
Of course. Of course. We gotta check this car first.
There's guns, radios, and all kinds of shit.
What's up, man?
What's going on,
I haven't seen you in a bit.
Yeah, every once in a while I get stuck on that.
Release the air.
Firearms, radios.
Now that is consistent with him being a cop. And at this point, they're probably feeling a little bit of doubt. You know, this guy says, oh, I'm a cop. It's like, sure you are, buddy. Because they're probably not thinking that a police officer is going to be acting like this. But now that they're seeing guns, radios, that's a different story, maybe.
Holy fucking shit. Jesus.
This guy's car's a mess.
What? Sarge, I can't see it. Well, that wasn't on when he passed me. No, he's drunk.
You hear this officer getting a little bit defensive. He's concerned that maybe he's pulled somebody over who was on a call or something, but he's saying, no, that wasn't on. And he's drunk. He can't be on a call because he's drunk. He's got a little bit of concern that maybe something is going on that he doesn't know.
Did you turn that on, or it was on?
No, it was on right there. On, but the visor's up.
Son of a bitch.
So now he's worried that it was on. Huh.
Inside the vehicle were 2 Glock firearms, a Miami-Dade police ID and badge, a body-worn camera, a tactical vest, and other law enforcement equipment.
Sounds like Christmas. So...
Casey, do you have a... Let's do this by the books. Do you happen to have a Miranda card?
So that'll just be a card that has the formal Miranda warning on it. This is good practice because you don't want this guy to end up with a defense lawyer like me who will say, oh, you screwed up reading him his rights. It's a lot easier for the officer if he can say, listen, I know I got him his rights properly because I just read it verbatim off this card. That's why these cards exist.
Thank you. Boss, what's your first name?
Don.
Don?
Donovan.
Donovan. That's your first name? Yes, sir. Okay. Don't say anything just yet. Understand me?
He doesn't want him saying anything until after the Miranda warning because it might be harder to admit that into evidence later on.
You know how this goes.
Okay, I don't want
Be quiet. Before I ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions. You have a right to have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a
These are essential rights, and anytime you hear these, you should be exercising those rights. You should say, I want to remain silent, I want to talk to a lawyer, I want my lawyer here, I want my lawyer present for any questioning, because these are powerful rights that you're afforded, and don't give them up for nothing.
lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop answering at any time. Do you understand each of these rights I've explained to you?
I get it, brother.
With these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to me now?
No, sir.
Okay. I feel you're impaired.
Me?
Yeah. No. Okay. Are you willing to perform field sobriety exercise to dispel my suspicion that you're impaired to drive?
No, sir.
No. Okay.
Now, field sobriety and other sorts of tests, you should know the laws of your area, because different areas, like, you may be required to perform tests, or there may be some sort of adverse inference that they can draw against you. But if you're not required and it doesn't, and there's no sort of penalties for not doing it, then why would you do it? It's a test that you literally can't win.
Real quick, I just wanted to say that Attorney Tom / Attorney Reacts content is now on Spotify. We just launched a partnered show, link in the description. Go check it out. Now, back to the video.
Is this an agency vehicle?
Yes, sir.
This is his agency car. This is his agency car.
He's like, there is going to be so much paperwork. Policing there's a lot of paperwork, and it's one of the least enjoyed aspects of the job. And he knows he's going to have to write one hell of a report later because he doesn't want this to blow up in his face.
Since he doesn't want to talk, he refuses field sobriety exercises. Oh, absolutely, he's fucked up. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
It is what it is. I will notify.
What are we going to do? Do you want a rotation, or what are we going to do with the car?
We're going to do rotation.
Okay.
But everything that's agency related,
Yeah.
we need to take and store, because I don't want to be responsible for in-cars, firearms.
Yep.
You know how much paperwork there'd be if they lost an agency gun because they left it behind at a scene? So much.
Yeah, if we can do them solid and let them know that they got all this shit here, if they have somebody local that can come and pick it up, so that, I don't mind doing the property receipt. That's not the reason. I'm just saying,
They got a ballistic shield. That's a fun toy.
I don't even know what to do yet.
It was you and you was Andy?
I clocked him at 107.
I got him up to 111.
And I know he saw my lights.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as he passed me.
And that, on the first trip, when it's when you stop at 157. They're currently still 23.
Okay.
He never slowed down, so.
Now, is that a box of donuts on the top of that car? Because if that's a box of donuts, these officers should be extra upset that this guy got busted on video with donuts. The jokes kind of write themselves. I'm just stunned at that.
I was directly behind him and he still kept going. He was weaving in and out of traffic.
And he's not on duty, so he shouldn't be running code.
Well, he didn't have those lights weren't on.
The lights were not on. No.
No, those lights weren't on when he passed me.
No,
and if they were on now, I couldn't see them because they weren't facing me anyway.
This one's pointing, it like fell down anyways.
Yeah, you can barely see here. And the visor lights were not on when he passed me, so I don't know if he.
No, that wasn't.
It's like falling down.
Huh.
All right,
yeah, his car's a mess.
You want me to take all this stuff, or what do you want to do with it?
Yeah, we're gonna take it for now until we can figure out.
Okay, let me grab some stuff to put it all in. Original speed was 107. He got so far away from me after I turned on my lights that I couldn't get a speed. Once I got close enough, when he was still fleeing, it was 111. That was the top speed that I was able to record. Whatever you get, here's a box. You can toss all his stuff that we need to take. I'm going to take him to the Roth.
So, Safari Land, okay. I'm still trying to catch a glimpse to see if that is in fact a donut box.
If you just want to drop it off, or
We'll can help you.
yeah. So I'll leave this here so you have somewhere to put everything. Donovan,
Sir.
I'm trying to get all your stuff to somebody safe. Can we contact your immediate supervisor?
Yeah, I do.
Can we contact your immediate supervisor?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You can help me out.
Oh man, he is messed up. He's having trouble forming words. He's messed up.
Well, we don't want to leave all your shit here, man. We don't want to put it into property. We want to see if we can get it to a supervisor. Okay? Preferably your supervisor to keep it under wraps. So, do you happen to have his name and phone number?
Yeah.
You already invoked your right to remain silent, so I'm not going to ask you any questions, bro. But man, bro, this is not the highlight of my day.
I know.
Bro,
Nobody wants to arrest a colleague. Nobody wants to any of that. This is kind of dangerous because if this guy says something now after he's invoked his right to silence, as a defense lawyer, I'd be arguing that him engaging in this conversation, he's effectively engaging in a questioning. That would be my argument. I don't know if I'd succeed with it, but I'd certainly try.
I'm sorry, brother, but
yep, don't say anything else. Boss man, you know how many people are involved in this?
I get you, brother, but like, bro, we're supposed to take care of our own, bro.
Yeah, we are.
Nigga, like, I've been doing this shit for 6.5 years, bro.
We're supposed to take care of our own. He's asking for special favors because he's a cop. If I was in charge of the world, any officer who made that request would not be a cop anymore. That in and of itself would be enough to bounce you. And any officer who did you those favors would also be bounced.
And if I came to your county and I put you in this position,
Yeah, I'll take you home, like,
you take me home.
of course.
You take me home after your...
He's basically saying, oh, take me home. Don't get me in any of this trouble. I hope this guy is not a cop anymore. I very much hope he's not a cop anymore. And I will give all the props to the officer who's responding to this scene because he's behaving professionally here. He's not giving these special favors. So far, I hope that doesn't change because I'm impressed with that.
Sergeant shows up on scene
Hell
and everybody's
yeah.
got cameras?
This is Mommy Day, baby. We take care of you. Like,
Yeah?
this is what we're supposed to do.
I know that's what we're supposed
If I was his sheriff or his supervisor, I would be so pissed that he's saying, "Oh yeah, this is Miami-Dade. This is how we do things." You're saying that your entire police force is corrupt? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what it sounded like to me.
to do. But unfortunately, I can't do that.
Alright, bro. Can do it.
You're going to tell me I go to Miami-Dade and I flee from the cops? I'm going to walk home?
Brother,
what you're telling me?
I didn't even notice you were fleeing.
Nah, man. Come on. Don't give me that bullshit.
I didn't notice you. I wasn't fleeing. Yeah, they're like, no, you noticed.
We're supposed to be brothers, right?
I won't never flee for you. That's why I pulled over. Trust me.
Yeah.
Thin blue line, right?
Did you hear what he just said? Thin blue line, right? Disgusting. Disgusting.
Come on, boss. Good job, man.
I got a family.
I got a family, he says. Yeah, so does everyone else you arrest. Like, it doesn't stop the arrest for anyone else. Why should it stop it for you?
You okay?
Nobody sat in this chair has ever thought they did anything wrong. Okay? But today, I'm not going to listen to any shit about how I did this. Okay? All right. Just have a seat, boss.
Donovan
He's like, you're a police officer. You should know better than to give me this crap.
refused to participate in standardized field sobriety tests or provide a breath sample.
What's up, my man? He's in the front because he's a cop. Okay?
So he is getting some special treatment, although not a pass on getting arrested. So that's a good thing.
All right, you got to get off the phone now, boss, okay?
Or they let him keep his phone. That's ridiculous. If this guy wasn't a police officer, I'm sure he would be separated from his phone pretty emphatically right now.
They're going to let you make some more phone calls in just a little bit.
Alright, bro. Have a good one. They're telling me to get out of the phone now. Alright, bro.
These 2 citations, I need you to sign them. It's not an admission of guilt. It just says you received them, all right?
and lots of people don't want to sign them. It doesn't actually get you anything to not sign them, but people are argumentative and so forth. Oh, and he's got an American flag cell phone case. That's fantastic.
All right, give them the gentleman your phone.
How you doing? All right, I got some questions. Do you have any contact with anybody with COVID? COVID? You had COVID vaccine? All right, you step in. Yeah, nice, huh?
Donovan has worked with Miami-Dade police since 2016. According to interim police director George Perez, Donovan has been relieved of his duties without pay.
Nice. That's
Donovan
the way
was
it should
charged
be.
with felony fleeing and eluding an officer, and misdemeanor driving under the influence. He also received citations for the 2 charges, and a written traffic warning for speeding.
Get your job, whatever it is, what it is.
3 cop cars behind you. They literally lit you up right next to you. They lit you up next to you. And you still kept going at 111. Next to you. Next to you.
And I pulled over, right?
No, bro. No, you didn't pull over.
This is always kind of funny because when people are drunk, they think they're much more persuasive than they are. And that's just everybody, right? When you're drunk, you think you are this grand orator. You think they're this hugely persuasive person, and you're not. So he thinks he could talk his way out of this, and it's just not happening for him. It's funny to watch him try, though.
You went for another 3 miles.
And what's 3 miles? Literally, like right there, right? I literally saw the next turn. Boom, pull over.
So I'm not super impressed with this officer, or I was mostly impressed with the officer who was the arresting officer there, but this guy Rojas was not impressive at all. He was basically saying, listen, you should cut me a break because I'm a police officer. We would do this in Miami-Dade, which is him throwing his entire department under the bus. I don't think that that's actually accurate, but that's what he was trying to do. You know, oh, we take care of you, man. We take care of people here. That is reprehensible. I'm glad it doesn't seem to have worked out for him. Hopefully he is not a cop, but we don't know. It doesn't look like there's sort of that as the ending. So that's drunk off-duty cop flees police at 100 miles per hour. These ones are always frustrating because you expect better from the police. Let me know what you thought of this in the comments below, and if you've had sort of a bad police interaction, let me know. Also, if you like this video, make sure you check out these other 2 videos. Like this one, subscribe, all of those good YouTube things, and until next time.
Big verdict.